دعوتنا للحضور وكذلك على حرصه الدائم على تبادل الرؤى وإرساء روابط التعاون والدعم للمجلس العربي للمياه. فيتقدم مشكورا لإلقاء كلمته.
Dear Dr. Abu Zaid, Ministers, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends of water, it's a special honor and a great pleasure to be with you today on the occasion of this opening ceremony of this Arab Water Forum. First of all, I would like to greet Mahmoud Abu Zaid, President of the Arab Water Council, and my predecessor as President of the World Water Council. I would like to extend to him my friendly feelings of respect as to all excellencies participating. The Arab countries have participated in the adventure of the World Water Council from the very beginning, and together we have worked on its development. And I would like to thank you here for the active permanent support of the community of Arab countries. Dear friends of water, as you know here, water has become one of the main concerns for the future of our planet. Water is often scarce, its quality is often poor, but above all, it's not always available where humans would like it to be, and also where it is essential for the good condition of the natural environment. Water and air, their availability and quality are essential issues for the years and decades to come. And from the Strait of Gibraltar to the Sultanate of Oman, from Jordan to Sudan, from the west to the east, from the north to the south, the Arab countries are facing a shortage of resources and frequent water stress, which is slowing down their development and creating unbearable tensions. This is why the subject of water security is now at the center of our concerns, at the center of all our work. So, how can we guarantee water security for more than 500 million people in this region? So, the solutions cannot be found without a shared understanding of the causes of the tensions over water resources and their use. Firstly, it has been said before, there's the aridity of the soil, common to almost all Arab countries. And this age-old aridity comes from ancient times. If the Quran praises the sweetness of the flowing spring, it also speaks of the severity of the drought and the need to share. In addition to this thirsty land, there is now a large and uncontrolled population growth. Many Arab countries have seen their populations double or even triple since the middle of the 20th century. The growth gave way to a disorderly, uncontrolled urbanization. The urban concentration, most often by the sea or along the major rivers, is highly water consuming. In addition, there is a rise in the standard of living and the changes in diet on the demand for manufactured products and public services for ever increasing water consumption. And when water consumption is high, more effluents have to be treated. Cities and megacities in particular have created intense land and sea pollution, which are the poisons of modern times. And this pollution carries waterborne diseases and disrupts agricultural and food production and the sanitary quality of domestic water. Finally, and finally only, there are the future effects of climate evolution. In some cases, there will be a decrease in resources, and in others, more abundant rainfall. These effects at this very moment are still unclear, but it is certain that they will disrupt our desire to achieve water security. In the Arab countries, as in the rest of the world, the future of water depends on the balance between supply and demand. We know that we need to produce more water and consume less. Producing more means increasing the availability of water in time and in space and in time, pumping deeper, transferring over greater and greater distances. This is what we have been doing for a long time. But this is not longer sufficient. The aquifers are running out, and large-scale transfers are increasingly costly and fragile from a security point of view. New solutions have appeared more recently to deal with the scarcity of water, and it has been described before me. Desalination of seawater. The Arab countries were pioneers in this field. Can you imagine that today 20,000 desalination treatment plants are functioning all over the world, 30% of which are in the Arabic countries. And thanks to the reverse osmosis process, costs have been step by step reduced. The only major drawback, is that saline and brine discharges create problems for biodiversity when they deposit on land or on shallow coast. Reusing wastewater offers more interesting prospects for the future. Firstly, because large cities and small towns are gradually equipping themselves with modern wastewater treatment plants that ultimately discharge water that is suitable for human consumption and at least for agricultural production, as it has been explained by Dr. Helati, Minister of Egypt, which is an example for this new process. Little by little, an exceptional potential is being discovered, which with the progressive improvement of technological and digital processes will be the real water and energy revolution of the 21st century. But a new element has emerged in public debate over the last 20 years, namely the need for water for nature and not just for mankind. Today, we understand that we also need water for nature. Why? Nature preserves water. Nature filters water. So we must understand the need to share between human beings, but also between human beings and nature. There's also a specific question I insist, which is, I know, a very sensitive question. Water reserves or water storage systems. We don't always have water from winter which can be used during the summer season or from one year to the next year. We must rethink the concept of dams and reservoirs. Ecologists criticize dams, which are sometimes too powerful, sometimes move populations and assault nature. They are partly right, but we need that. Otherwise, men are thirsty and nature as well. We think, and I've been advocating for this for several years, that there is a need to evolve from the concept of dams to the concept of aquatic biodiversity reserves. We must also voluntarily but progressively shift towards adopting farming methods that are acceptable to humankind, but at the same time we must make sure that humankind is not deprived of the water and food we need in order to survive. This will be one of the main challenges of this century. That's the reason why for years our Council has advocated for a horizontal approach which we call the 5 Fingers Alliance between water, energy, food, health and education. Because we must consider solutions for water at the same time as we consider solutions for electricity. And what is the use of feeding people if they die because of health issues? Just a few words concerning transboundary basins, which are today the heart of a new geopolitical order. 40 to 50% of the world's population live across 250 transboundary rivers basins flowing across several countries. Successful examples of basin governance exist. My colleague, from Senegal, has explained what is done concerning the Senegal River, but also the Rhine River, the Paraná River in Latin America, and a few others. They have established through treaties and operated dedicated organizations where dialogue and sharing are the rule. There are more complex examples where tensions continue due to strong political sensitivities and permanent media pressure. This is the case of the Nile River, where the construction of the Renaissance Dam in Ethiopia had triggered major tensions with downstream states such as Sudan and especially Egypt. But there are no reasons today of speaking about water wars. Dialogue, a full but discreet dialogue, and nothing else than technical dialogue, is the only recommendation issued by our Council to deal with this type of situation that we have discussed 2 years ago with President Sisi in Cairo. And finally, I would like to end this overview of the future of water with another sensitive subject, a political subject. This subject is that the right to water. The right to water, so easily proclaimed, but so difficult to enforce and concretely implement. The right to water is a right insufficiently guaranteed by the UN system, which has never been able to impose this obligation on states. Only about 50 states have really included the right to water in their constitutions or founding texts. An international campaign must once again be led by our Council, the World Water Council, to convince head of states, head of governments, and parliamentarians. But let's very clear, achieving water security requires a political response. First, water is politics. The priority to be given to water is first and foremost a decision of the states. It's also a universal awareness that requires the adoption of laws and regulations as well as budgets that will translate this priority into concrete actions and immediate response. I would like to conclude to thank you for having placed your work in line, Dr. Abou Zeid, that of the Dakar World Water Forum, that the Republic of Senegal and the World Water Council will organize in the city of Dakar next March. This forum, the 9th, will be the forum of solutions and response as populations demand to give real expression to access to water for all. Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, join us to really make water a planetary priority. Please join us to allow the poorest, the most deprived people all over the world to get daily access to water and sanitation. Please join us to help them and to give them back liberty, confidence, and dignity for a better future. Join us to win this peaceful battle. Join us and become member of the World Water Council. Thank you for your contribution, thank you for your support, and I wish all full success in the work of this fifth Arab water country. Thank you so much.